enjoy the game of basketball, you know.
With that being said, Kobe, how do you feel right now about Shaquille O'Neal, knowing that you feel manipulated by the Los Angeles Lakers? In defense of the organization, they will say, well, you know what, we didn't promise Kobe anything, but we would give a full-fledged effort to try and regain our status as legitimate title contenders in the league, but you can't guarantee such things. We're trying our best. That's the Lakers' position right there. Mitch Kupchak, Dr. Buss, they're doing everything they can. But from your vantage point, how do you feel about Shaquille O'Neal right now? Your relationship with him was never the greatest, but in light of these new revelations and what you've learned, what are your feelings today about Shaquille O'Neal feeling the way that you feel about the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, you know, when I see him, I'm gonna give him some dap. I'm gonna give him a big ass hug.
And what would you say to him?
You know, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Are you gonna reach?
I don't know. You know, I just, you know, we had our moments, but we had a great time, you know, winning championships together. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for him to step forward and to see, you know, because he was here, I mean, he knows what goes on around here. You know, I was young, and the only thing I focused on was the game. You know, he obviously, you know, kind of knew the inner workings of the organization and what was taking place. So, you know, when he heard me say what I said, he knew exactly where I was coming from.
One of the things that amazes me about you, Kobe, is that, you know, I consider you to be the best player in the game. A lot of people feel that way. I know most of the coaches in the league feel exactly the same way about you being that caliber of a player. But when they look at Kobe, they say to Kobe in regards to this present state of affairs with the Los Angeles Lakers, he got what he asked for. He wanted it to be his team. He wanted Shaquille O'Neal going so he could be the man. He could be the show. This is Kobe in a situation that Kobe created for himself. What do you say in response to people who feel that way?
Well, you know, not much I could say to them. That's what they want to say. That's what they're going to say. But I think that, you know, I could have went to a team like the Los Angeles Clippers that had, you know, a lot more talent, and a cast that, you know, with Elton Brand and McGetty and, you know, soon to get Mobley and Cassell, you know, we could have been, you know, we'd probably still be playing right now. But I chose to stay here because of the promises that they made in terms of building a team. And
you could have went to Chicago too.
Could have went to Chicago, and they had a cast of extremely talented young players. But I chose to stay here because of, you know, what they promised. Now, you know, if I knew they weren't going to be aggressive in getting a Baron Davis and getting a Carlos Boozer, you know, that would have changed things drastically. But, you know, I didn't, you know, I didn't ask for this, certainly not.
Let's be clear about something before I let you get on out of here, Kobe. With the Los Angeles Lakers, do you want to be traded because you believe that they're not going to be able to build a contender in the very near future, or do you want to be traded because you feel like you've been lied to?
It's both. It's both, and it's all just come to a head. You know, it's just come to a head, man. It's both of those things. You know, prior to hearing this Laker insider, you know, I had spoken with Phil, and we talked about, I was telling him how I'm working out and just really focusing on defense and just, you know, just kind of gearing up. And, you know, the pocket I was in was just trying to work things out, you know, just trying to get a contender here. Then I hear this Laker insider thing, and then, you know, through talking with Phil, I hear, you know, what they told him, what their plans were, and I know what they promised me, and those are two different things.
Oh, so they promised Phil Jackson something different than what they told you?
Yeah, well, they told Phil in this exit meeting that, you know, they were scaling back, and this is in '04. They told him that they were scaling back and wanted to get under the cap and had a long-term plan to do that. And, you know, they told me the complete opposite of that. So in learning those things.
But didn't you know what they told Phil Jackson at the time? You didn't know?
No, you know what's funny is Phil and I never talked about the '04 season. You know, this is in '04. Again, I never talked about the exit meeting. We never talked about the book. I never read the book. You know, but with everything that was going on, you know, I sent him an email. I said, Phil, please call me ASAP. And he hit me right back, and we discussed it. And, you know, I told him, I said, Phil, you know, that's completely opposite of what they told me.
So how does Phil feel about the fact that I imagine that if you're telling me that you want to be traded and that there's nothing the Lakers can do. I imagine you've told this to Coach Phil Jackson because of the respect that you have for him and the way your relationship has been going for the last couple of years. What has he said to you?
Well, he knows how rough this is for me, and Phil's the type of person where he's not going to get in the way of the decision of a person. He obviously would want me to stay. Obviously, he's coming back for another year. He has the health concerns that the challenges that'll deal with this off season.
You might not want to come back if he's going to lose you, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But and I'll continue to talk because we've developed a very close relationship, and I admire him tremendously. He's taught me so much, and that relationship will continue to grow.
If you look back on your career, whether it's with Shaquille O'Neal or in the post-Shaquille O'Neal era when it's been you and then you and Phil Jackson, is there anything that you would do differently?
Well, I think, Shaq and I would communicated a lot more. You know what I mean? Just talking, like going through all of this stuff and just he and I just sitting down talking, and we were both young, and it's as you get older, you learn how to deal with things, better. When you become a parent, you learn patience, you learn understanding, and I think if we could go back, I think I would love to, and I'm sure he would as well. Just communicate, just he and I, just directly about things.
Shaq often said this to me. He said if Jerry West was still the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, neither of y'all would have ever parted ways. Shaq has said that to me on several occasions. How do you respond to that?
No, I agree with that. Because Jerry West is a no-nonsense guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to deal with, people in the organization being quote-unquote insiders.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going down under his watch. It's just not happening.
Yeah, but with that being said, Kobe, you just finished saying that there's absolutely nothing the Lakers could do to make you want to come back and remain with the organization. That's why I'd asked you, what if Jerry West came back to the Los Angeles Lakers, even though that seems highly unlikely?
Yeah, it's beyond that point. It's just beyond that point. And I know who this insider is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I know who it is.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, my last question to you, I'm gonna ask you one last time: is there anything the Los Angeles Lakers can do to get you to remain with the organization?
No, bro.
Kobe Bryant, I appreciate your time, my man.
All right, man.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
This has been the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast. Exclusive interviews and non-stop Team 1050 coverage. Thanks for listening. This has been the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.